May God have mercy on your soul. Interesting transition to Kitty rules the world. Don't believe me? This man right here, y'all see this man? This is Alamo's right-hand man, Bishop. And he fell in love with Maddie so quick from seeing her involved with Alamo and how he treats women in general and how we all know how he treats women. So it ends up being horrible for him because my boy told his homies to put the guns down. He literally took the bullets from the gun, looked at it and said, you want to come home, you and Kitty, come on. By the way, if you don't know, Kitty is with Maddie and the whole group when they was doing the Cassie thing. So he's like, they coming with me. My boy turned the whole thing with Alamo down. And I want to say this. I knew Alamo was a monster when I saw how he poured the Mexican Coke. He poured it and didn't even think about the fizzle. I knew he was up to something. No man will pour Mexican Coke in a cup. You already got it in the glass. It's beautiful in the glass. But you put it in a cup and you let it fizzle out. You're ruining it. So when he gave it a pill, I knew it was something. I said, that's not a regular Percocet. It's a setup. Can't trust a man like that. But emotional episode, the way they did Rue's death and passing and seeing Fed and all of them and saying, I promised when he got out that I was going to see him, and then seeing her mother and seeing everybody, I got emotional. I cannot lie to you. I cannot pretend like I did not get emotional because there was a interesting ending. If you watch Euphoria, you figured that one day it was going to end up being that way because she has had many chances to have this happen. I feel like Cassie and everybody else felt like it was just a normal case. Maddie, the only one that would know now that this happened. So the ending made sense for Rue in general. By the way, if you don't know, Rue passed. I don't know why you watching this if you don't know yet. But the epiphany that my man Alamo, who is also gone, as well as Lori, who decided to end herself because she couldn't take credit for what she did. She couldn't be held accountable with all her fake debt that she just made up on people. So she decided to end herself when the police raided her. Alamo, of course, got out, sneaked out, got the money out, which led to why he set up Rue with the fent in the first place, because the DEA, Maddie ended up passed away. But it's so interesting because this whole, we find out that the whole thing about Alamo, as I put this down real fast, is that, it's your boy Zelmae, by the way, is that his whole thing is about he's not going to be run by women, basically, in their body part. He's not going to be run by it because he saw what his mama did to old boy and how she used it to manipulate people, and he ain't going to be the fool that get manipulated. He not going to be the one to get manipulated by these women. And he had an epiphany in this episode that Kitty still runs him. He saw Kitty and looked at Kitty's kitty and decided that it still runs him. And what is he doing everything for? So he never overcame his childhood trauma, and he slowly realized it, and he just kind of started giving into it, which I think Maddie could have ran him. I want y'all thoughts. Do y'all think Maddie could have ran him after this epiphany? Because it felt like he was going to do it. By the way, I don't know. I feel like Alamo was such a good character, but giving him this weird trauma, which if you had a season 4, again, I'm going to keep saying that because a lot of the themes come, you could make it work, but I felt like it was so weird. And then at the end, we have my guy Ali coming in full military garb, riding for my girl Rue. Might have been the best thing in this season, because this season mostly has been disappointment outside of the ending wedding in the last 2 episodes to me. Even though I did think this episode didn't have to be 2 hours long, but the last 2 was really good. And the thing is, Ali running full garb, full military garb, letting them know that I'm here. I was hyped for that, by the way. I was so hyped for that. And the whole, man, Bishop betraying him. Bro, these dudes did not like Alamo. You could tell throughout the season the way he treated them, they did not like him. So you only had, what, Big Eddie and Bishop that was loyal, because old boy, young dude wasn't loyal. Bishop wasn't really loyal, we found out. But again, y'all know it. Say it with me. It rules the world. Big Eddie was loyal, but Big Eddie got his shut off because I don't know why, but he got it shot off. I felt bad really for my guy Marshawn Lynch. You got your first show and he shot that man straight up in there, right in his, that was crazy. But this episode begins like a horror movie. It's like one of those turning point movies when like the real country dude in overalls start walking with the one leg. We saw old boy, if he got shot, he got hit in the leg by Rue. Very brilliant by Rue, by the way, because Faye just yelled, so punch in the face and hit him in the leg and escape as fast as you can. So it started like that little horror film when the dude's shooting a big giant shotgun at the wall and it hits and she just ducks and put the hand on the face like, and then he just crawls around, keeps shooting like the man in Men in Black, you know, the country dude Men in Black with the shotgun, and they just shoot. And then it became a cowboy film when he got outside because old boy gone and Faye is punched in the face. By the way, I want to know y'all's opinion on this. Did Faye deserve that? Because Rook set her up in this weird spot, by the way. She knew she was going to be like weird like that and druggy, and then she put her in a place for that. So she kind of set her up. And she know how she is, so she set up in general. And she made a horrible decision with this, which led to that. I thought she got away. But yeah, it became a cowboy movie in which the cowboy lassoed Rue in the legs. He just lassoed her. And then my boy, Big Eddie, became a sniper. And then just picked up Rue and celebrated with it, which I thought was interesting because he's the only one besides Alamo that passed away. And I feel like he's the only one that liked Rue. That was an interesting decision to have it like that. I could see all of them betraying Alamo at the end, but just Big Eddie not being the one to betray him, but everybody else doing it was interesting to me because he's the only one that seemed like he liked her. He's the only person. So what are y'all thoughts about that? I want to know too on that one. And then it became, like I said, it became like a spy movie. And then it became a comedy. The action shot, I'm telling you, that's a beautiful shot. Shout out to Euphoria, the producers. That little action shot of him celebrating, run! Hilarious scene. And then they celebrating at the end, which led to everything that happened with them drinking the mixing Coke and the joke I made about, man, the dude. By the way, even though I say I'm joking, I'm not joking. You let your drink fizzle out and you pour in a cup like that, I don't trust you. You up to something. You up to something. I don't believe nothing you saying. But sometimes I watch this show and I don't know what's going on with it. I'm not gonna lie, this season been like that. So a lot of this show was just emotional moments. But not this show, this episode specifically, and this season, was just emotional moments. But I was kind of detached from it because, like, again, this is gonna be a theme in this video. I felt like this was meant for season 4 and to sit on it. Because Maddie going to Cassie talking about, I'll see you again. And then the Lexi situation when she said Rue had a beautiful smile because Lexi, by the way, I am proud of Lexi. Out of my prediction show, most of it was correct. Lexi was not, but maybe it should have been more because it was Cassie's idea to sell it this time. Because I just figured that Lexi was going to just do it like she did the play and just tell their lies. And then they have Maddie and Cassie had a fight. You remember that early in the early seasons? Season 2, not earlier season. But then I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh, she feels bad for Ruth because she dismissed her. And then Cassie pretends to be like slow still and then be like, well, she was a druggie. And then she just went on this little weird rant. She had a beautiful smile, which made Lexi feel a little better. They talked about the Bible a little bit. There was a theme throughout this episode, even in the ending. They continually prayed and talked about the Bible and how people trying to get their life right, which happened at the end. And then again, Ollie going to the people and saying, I used to think that rehabilitation was the right thing, but you have to forgive and reset. You also have to do drug dealers who they doing it for their family too. So you go throughout that whole thing. And I do love that, by the way. It's the amazing prayer at the end. I was hoping for season 4, but this episode really felt like, oh, because this episode didn't fit with nothing. That's my one problem with this episode. It was a beautiful episode. Greatly shot, had some great meaning to it, but it felt like a fast track of what season 4 should have been. Because I'm telling you, it could have been an amazing season 4. By the way, I want to know y'all opinion on this. I am going to do, if y'all want me to, I will do breakdowns of each character and how I think they changed and how they did in season 3, if that's what y'all want. So let me know in the comments if y'all want me to do more character breakdowns of each character, because I think Nate would be interesting because he changed. Why did Bishop switch so fast? Again, if you had a whole season 4, you could have built up his relationship with Maddie. You could have done that. You can also show Lexi's guilt and the possible trying to get her to tell this story quicker. You can also see Cassie's pain of losing Nate, which the last time we saw her, she saw a picture of Nate and cried. We didn't even see Jules. So last time we saw Jules, it was on the cover of an episode 2 episodes ago, the cover of this, when she threw a painting on her and told her to get out of her house. We don't even know how she reacted, because this has been months after this show ended, months after Rue passing. So we don't even know how Jules reacted to it. I don't think we saw Jules unless it was a small scene that I was not paying attention to, because a lot of this was 2 hours long, and I promise you some of it I just didn't pay attention to. And it was just nice action scenes, like nice action shots of and sad music. But I was wondering about that, because it's a lot that we don't see, and I feel like you could have played into it so much more, because Alamo would have been a perfect for an end of a season 4 in the series finale. Rue passing, and then Maddie, Cassie all being linked to him with the new character Kitty, and then Ali wanting revenge and slowly going in this revenge path. We lost months. When you found Alamo's place, he said it's been months. So we could have had a few month build up to a series finale, but I don't see the series finale because Nassim gone. Nate's gone. He's not coming back. Of course not. We saw that. Rue's gone. So I'm like, what's the story for Maddie? What's the story for Cassie? There's no story. There's no Nate for Cassie. There's no Alamo for Cassie or Maddie. And Lexi telling the story, she kind of ended it like, I don't want to do this no more. So there's no movie coming out. There's no show telling the story. There's nothing to feed off. It's the end of the show. You literally wrote it to completion. There's nothing you can write. You ended it all rather fast for a 2-hour episode that had to knit it together. You did it well for what you tried to do. So I'm not hating on this episode at all. I just think you had a missed opportunity to dig more into it, because there's still questions we don't know. And by the way, I saw the thought process of why is Maddie under the bull in the show, because is she gonna pass away? Is she gonna be hunted by Alamo? Which I thought would have been, again, a lead up in this episode to being like he controls her now, and that she his, and then for the next few months she's gonna be working for him, which led to the season 4. But instead, they went with Alamo's really hunted, but he's with her. He even threw the deer head through the window when he got in a shootout with Ali, in which he thought he was a real cowboy, but he tried to cheat. We're gonna do this the old way. And I'm like, okay, that was crazy. I did like that though. It's a nice touch. But I felt like there was a lot of opportunities. By the way, Maddie and Cassie, how do they resolve that? I know they had that sweet scene and the thing when they become like real close friends through trauma again, even though they've been kind of contentious friends and a lot through this show, but they kind of developed a true friendship. It's a lot of relationship we didn't see at the end, because what's Jules' relationship? How is she doing now, knowing that Rue's gone and the way she treated her at the end? We saw a little bit of Lexi when Lexi talked. Like I said, we saw Lexi talk, and we saw her go through her thing, say she started reading the Bible. We could have had some episodes on that. I felt like you could have you did everything right except for you sped running through one episode. But if they wasn't funding another season, you had no choice. So if they funded this and didn't have another season in mind, and they knew it, kudos, because this was really a good episode in terms of that. But if they announced a season 4, which by the time this video out, they could announce it, I don't know what you did. You ruined a great possible season to now make another random season, because season 3 was just a bunch of random things that came together at the end nicely, but then you put the bow on it at the end. So I don't know what to do with that. But let me know your thoughts. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button. And if you got a hype, use it on your boy. I'll appreciate it. Remember, keep something amazing happen. Peace.